The turkeys are watching. I'm entitling this Bows, Bows, and More Bows because I've got bows here. First of all, I'd like to say hello to the people in the classes within the system of the Lenawee County Intermediate School District. I just found out today that they watch my videos in their classrooms. That's good. That shows that I'm family friendly. That is my goal. First off, second off, I need to keep track. Eli and Bridget, bows are ready. I have Helmsman Spar urethane varnish, 3 coats on the belly of Eli's because Eli's bow has been very stubborn, and 2 coats on the back. So these are done. All they need to do is just sit in the sunshine and the breeze a full day tomorrow and allow that finish to cure. And then it's time to string them up and shoot some arrows through them and do the final measurement of poundage. Bridget, I'm pretty sure, I haven't scaled it yet, but it feels like at 28 inches, it's going to be over 60 pounds. This bow, so that's well within the criteria. So far at this point, everything is good. Eli, your bow is going to be a little lighter. It has a more rounded back, but it'll still have plenty of oomph. It's not going to be a 30-pound bow by any means. Probably upper 40s, low 50s, which I'm sure you can handle. That's the bows, and more bows, and now even more bows. This, you remember, Arizona John sent me this beautiful tamarisk. Not tamarack, not tamarin, which is a fuzzy little primate. Tamarisk, salt cedar, a highly invasive species in many states. Usually in the Southwest, I believe. Areas where they don't have as much water as Michigami. And this is a water-stealing plant that can steal water from the other plants. But it's a good bowwood. It has the same hardness as hard maple and probably the same modulus of rupture. I'm not sure. And this little bow, I forgot how long it is. It can't be much more than 50 inches, knock to knock. He was shooting it at 28 inches of draw. So tamarisk, that is on the hit list for bowwoods. It's a good bowwood. But John, me, speaking in the second or third person, I don't know which, before my morning coffee, made a bonehead maneuver and just yanked it back too far and broke it. And so glued it back together, pounded it with a rubber mallet on the ground to fit the pieces as best I could. Then I've got a wrap over the back fracture, a wrap over the belly fracture, and then a spiral over the entire thing because it was like this long fracture running about halfway through the wood. To strengthen it. And do not be afraid of this little hinge there. It's deceptive. It's actually an area where there was a knot, and it's a natural kind of whoop, and then a kind of a doink in there. So believe it or not, it's tillered rather nicely. I am, as I do, sighting it along the limb. Oh, nice even bend throughout the thing. I'm seeing all the portions bending. I put it on my measuring bench, which series of 2x4s, evenly spaced. I'm going to line that back up against the edge of one of the 2x4s, sight down here. And this is hitting the same point as it is down here, so it's even. A good way to ruin bows is to string them up before you put them on one of these things to double check for hinges or an uneven bending. And again, this is made from a stave that's somewhat doinky. There's a doink there and another doink down there, so the tillering is somewhat deceptive. But a good way to ruin bows is to string them before they're ready to be strung. Because sometimes you will get one limb that bends a lot and the other that will bend not much. And with that uneven bending, you can ruin the limb that bends too much. And so always use your tillering stick. You can't even judge it by just stringing it. You have to use a tillering stick and then sight down the limbs to see, oh yeah, it's bending all over the place, and test the evenness. I use either things on the floor, you know, the tiles, or else like a bench like this, 2x4s, evenly spaced. Check where this one lies, followed along here, and this one, there we go, even Steven, and that's why I strung it a little bit. Now, Sinew. It's like cooking a potato in the coals of a campfire. When you remember it, it's done. You know, so I just had this hanging on the wall, and I just didn't look at it really for a couple months and forgot about it. And it's like, yeah, I remember it now. I did it a long time ago, so that sinew is cured enough. It'll continue to cure probably for another 8 months, maybe a year in my climate. However, it has reached that point where when I put bends on it, when I impose stress on the back, the sinew is cured enough that it's not going to separate a little bit and then just stay there. If you don't wait on your sinew to cure enough, you're going to take a bow that could be a great bow and turn it into just a so-so bow. And I've seen that many times when I've rushed things, is that you just have to let the sinew cure. One good way is, if it's not strong, set it on a workbench or against a wall and measure when you have one tip and the handle touching, measure the distance that this tip is away from the wall and just measure it every week, and you'll see it's like a turkey pop-up timer that suddenly it'll just go into reflex, and with one tip against the wall, with the handle against the wall, the distance will increase, and that's usually a good sign that your bow is about ready. And once it does that going in the reflex, almost every single bow will change, you know, as far as if you have string follow, suddenly you'll have less string follow. If it had a little reflex, suddenly it's going to have a lot more reflex. That clues you in that it's about ready. Turkey pop-up timer. And so I'm taking this bow. I didn't scale it. He was actually drawing this short little beastie back to 28 inches, which is incredible. It's like half the length, knock to knock, which is good for a self bow. Really good. So it speaks of Arizona John's skill and also the tenacity of tamarask wood. I'm guessing it was about 40 pounds at 28 inches, 40, 45. I have a pretty good feeling by now of judging draw weight. With the sinew on it, almost fully cured. It's kind of like a curve. After 2 months, it'll be cured a lot. After 6 months, it'll cure a little more. After 8 months, it'll be cured a little more. It's probably approaching at the same draw length, which I'm not going to pull it back even sinew back because I'm going to be stressing the belly more. I probably added 15 pounds to the draw weight, comparable, you know, 28-inch draw. But I'm going to shoot this at 24 inches of draw. I don't mind short draws, but it's going to be fast, super fast. It has a slightly rounded belly, so I'm going to stick it on here. I could go way back to here. And I'm less afraid of it now that it's sinew back because it's not going to explode. You can stick it back on the bench, double check it, even that up against that sighting along here. It's dead even. You don't even need to take my word for it. You can see it for yourself. It goes from that oh, I kicked it. There we go. Let's try it again. There we go. Good enough for government work. And that's what I want to look for. To reduce the weight, I'm going to use sandpaper. It's funny that I've got 80 grit here, but 220 almost works it the same way. So I'm going to use 220 on here to lighten it down a little bit and fine tune the tillering, making sure at every step, you know, I remove wood and then 1, 2, 3, 4, do that 20 times, check it, remove more wood if I have to, and then flex it again to get over that inertia, because sometimes wood won't show you any change until you start flexing it. And I'm going to keep going until I get it down to what I feel would be about 50 pounds at 24 inches of draw. Anyway, that is that. Thank you for watching my videos. I appreciate it. And I will continue to make them family friendly. No more squirrel jokes for me. Have a good one. Thank you for watching. This is exciting. Yes, Lucius, your arrows are going to be the first ones that I shoot through there. Derek, of Derek's Primitive Missiles, I'll be shooting those with these. These have a much greater draw length, and so there's going to be more impact. Greater draw length, probably a higher weight, So there's going to be more impact on the arrows. So I don't want to ruin Lucius's because they are way cool. They're kind of one-off arrows. Derek's primitive missiles are BA. You can figure out what I mean by that. Tough arrows. Oh, look at this. Sunset Watchers.